It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Bleav in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code Bleav. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where in AEW, the next stop is Revolution, and in WWE, the next stop is WrestleMania. It is lost in the Midcard. Welcome. We had a big weekend of shows with Elimination Chamber, followed by New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle in the Valley, all on Saturday evening. We will cover those in our lead. A couple of stories to get to, some television, and we'll get you set the table for Monday Night Raw at the top of the hour here for you. As always, we are your unofficial, official pre-show for Monday Night Raw. We will give you the rundowns for AEW Dynamite this Wednesday and what to expect on Monday Night Raw tonight. Sean Rossap usually giving us a couple of spoilers too. We'll see what we got on there, see if it's going to be an exciting night after a pay-per-view. Usually a night after a pay-per-view is kind of electric. So if you haven't done so already, give us the thumbs up on our YouTube channel, Bleav in Pro Wrestling. Also, make sure you subscribe, share it out with your friends, join in the conversation as we are live every Monday before Raw at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Oh, good.
Good.
I bring you the head of Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah, you saw that this weekend.
I did. It's good. Fuck the critics. Fun
movie.
Yeah,
a very wide range of from the critics to the fans or the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Kind of funny.
Yeah, I honestly think a lot of movie critics get into that industry and then forget why they got into that industry to begin with, because they get so jaded in there, like they don't enjoy what they do. Like, man, like, look, I can critique pro wrestling sometimes, but man, like, I freaking love it. You know, I still love it. You know, like if I'm going to critique it, I'm not going to like bury it the way the critics buried this movie. It was a fun movie. Was it a perfect Marvel movie? No, but it was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. You know, I had fun at the movies. Came home, watched Elimination Chamber, watched Battle in the Valley. It's busy. Had a busy day.
Yeah,
very busy Saturday.
I went out after Chamber, so I didn't get to watch Battle in the Valley till today as part of 8 hours of wrestling, because after I set up the podcast here for tonight, took in Rampage, so there's 5 hours right there, and then of course Monday Night Raw after we go off the air here at the top of the hour. So this is tomorrow is going to be my last free Tuesday. I go back to hosting trivia. I'm going to be hosting trivia at 2 nights now, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm kind of tempted to take in a $5 movie tomorrow, maybe see Knock at the Cabin. I want to see Cocaine Bear, but that doesn't come out till this weekend. So
I won't give M. Night Shyamalan any of my money.
It's only $5. It's $5 night. I'll give him $5.
I wouldn't even give him that. Like if I'll see that when it's on, you know, when you could watch it at home. I ain't watching that. I ain't watching that shit in the theaters. He ran out of chances with me after The Village. I was done after that.
As always, thank you to everybody that is joining us live in the chat. Once again, we are live every Monday night right before Raw, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. So if you're able to join us in the chat, like Steven Elimination Chambers. His weekend was just this last weekend. And Frantic World, good for you guys to join us here. Frantic World saying he thought Ant-Man and Wasp was okay.
Okay is better than saying it was bad.
And Steven says Knock at the Cabin really good. So
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah,
But still, I just have I have very much trouble trusting M. Night Shyamalan for anything.
well,
So
it's like I'm gonna be in the neighborhood downtown tomorrow night after I get off work, and it's my last free Tuesday for a while. So
better than
yeah,
watching NXT.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I did get NXT watched this week, and I actually got Rampage watched tonight. So I am all caught up. How about that?
Look at you. Look at you and your caught upness.
So this weekend, of course, a big weekend with Elimination Chamber and Battle in the Valley, both the same night. Battle in the Valley conspicuously had issues and started late.
Yeah, they had some major tech problems.
Accidentally
Which
on
actually
purpose.
worked. No, I definitely don't think this was on purpose, but it actually benefited a lot of wrestling fans who wanted to watch both
Yeah.
because their first match didn't even kick off till I think around 10:35, 10:40 Eastern. So it was really there was only like 20 plus minutes of elimination chamber left. So it wasn't really hard to, balance out the two shows for the evening. I'm sure it was annoying for the people who were there live.
Yeah,
But I
probably.
mean, honestly, this type of thing happens all the time with New Japan and Fight.
It
You
happens
know,
all the time with Fight,
every
period.
time New Japan's in the States, they have issues with Fight. And I just like
How many times does GCW have
on New
that?
World.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, how many times does GCW have that problem too with Fight?
yeah,
So
I love Fight, but they definitely have their issues. Especially seemingly California shows. GCW California shows is always spelled disaster with Fight. So can't really explain it, but yeah, there's issues there. But this one worked to me. This one worked out in wrestling fans' favor on Saturday night.
Elimination Chamber on Saturday from the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Did they do the Bell Center for SmackDown too? I knew they were
They
in.
did. They
I knew they
did.
were. I knew
Right.
they were
Yep.
in Montreal. I just didn't know if they did the Bell Center.
Yep.
Both
Same
of them.
building, back to back nights.
17,271 was the attendance for that. We kicked things off with the women's Elimination Chamber with Natty and Liv kicking things off. Raquel Rodriguez, followed by Nikki Cross, Carmella, and then Asuka as the final entrant. And I thought it was an okay women's chamber. I thought the men's was a lot better. I thought the men's was one of the better matches. If wasn't for Logan Paul, it might have. If they would have had a clean, great final two, maybe that could have been one of the best chamber matches of all time. The women's wasn't bad. I thought Liv Morgan was one of the stars in this one. And to no surprise, the booking that we wanted happened with Asuka winning. But at the same time, I think it was it was just good. It wasn't a great match. What was your thoughts on the women?
I actually thought it was, for the most part, I thought it was really good. Like there's been some bad women's elimination chambers over the years. I thought they all worked together really well. This year, uh, I wouldn't say it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought the six women that they ended up picking worked really well together. I thought Liv came out of it looking particularly strong,
Yeah.
like passing out to the double submission. So I definitely feel like they have plans for her to do something headed into WrestleMania. I speculated about this on my social media account earlier this afternoon, which I'm sure we'll probably talk about at some point. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good way to kick off the show, and the right woman won,
Mhm.
which always helps the overall opinion of the matchup too.
Yeah, and it just was yeah, I mean it was good. It wasn't it wasn't just amazing. The end was kind of quick. Obviously with the double team on Raquel, and then all of a sudden obviously with Carmella and Asuka, you figure Asuka's just going to murder her quickly, and that's what happened. So next up, probably the only dud of the night, though it was good for the 5 minutes that it lasted. Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley I kind of wanted them to hold this off till WrestleMania, and I guess that's what they're going to do with it. But at the same time, a lot of people hate DQ finishes on pay-per-views, which I don't blame you. And obviously Brock Lesnar is going to take a vacation for F5ing the referee, which I heard was an unplanned spot.
Sean says it was. Sean said it was planned. Sean
Planned,
Ross
okay.
Sapp. So yeah, we can debunk that right now.
But so Brock will be on vacation for a while before we set up a WrestleMania rematch. It's interesting because Wyatt said I'll take on the winner, and no, there was no winner. Well, I guess Bobby won.
There was a winner, but I think I would have liked the finish a lot more had the Wyatt segment the night before not happened.
Yeah.
Because if you had that finish, you're like, oh, okay, they're setting up, the fight pit at WrestleMania. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, was the Wyatt thing a red herring? Are they doing a triple threat match? What are they planning for Lashley and Lesnar at WrestleMania? Because honestly, there's no reason, if they're doing that match again, there's no reason to involve Wyatt in it.
No.
Like, you can't tell me you can't plug Wyatt into another match at WrestleMania. Like, we all originally thought it was going to be him facing Uncle Howdy.
The easy way out of it
seems like it's not going to be that. So, like, I don't freaking know.
The easy way out of it is for Bray to cut a promo and someone attack him, or attack him and Howdy. And it could be right now. There's two guys that team together on Friday that don't have anything to do with at WrestleMania. Put Bray and Howdy against Drew and Sheamus.
See, I think they do have something to do with WrestleMania because I think they're going to be in a triple threat match with Gunther for the Intercontinental title.
Ooh, that's right. I forgot about Gunther.
I think that's where those two are heading right now.
Yeah,
because they still have that whole friendly rivalry where they're slapping each other. I love every that promo back and forth. I feel like I think it's going to be them and Gunther in a triple threat match. So I don't think they're available. Somebody
attacks him when he's cutting a promo. That's the quick and easy way to get out of that bad.
They should just do Wyatt and Howdy at Mania, and then align them afterwards.
They worked well together doing the double team there. They worked pretty well together on Hit Row.
They do. They're brothers.
But yeah, that was a dumb thing to do. It painted him into a corner, especially after the DQ finish. I want to see.
I would have liked the finish a lot more had the Wyatt segment the night before not happened the way it did.
I want to see Lashley and Lesnar in a fight pit.
So do I. That to me, that's the match. That's what it, because Lesnar couldn't get himself DQ'd in a fight pit. So I mean, it kind of plays into the finish of Elimination Chamber. So
here's Steven here. Where's Drew going to face at Mania? I'm guessing triple threat. Yeah, that's what Matt said there. Oh yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is rumored to be a sponsor for a match. Who knows what the hell that's going to be?
Look, I've already said what that match is going to be. It's going to be Mimosa Mayhem with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's what it's going to be. They're going to have two large tubs of milk and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And to win, you need to throw your opponent into the Cinnamon Toast Crunch bowl. That's the match.
And
come on now,
Jericho's going to break the forbidden door to be in that match too. That's what's going to.
Yeah, I don't foresee that happening.
We've been hoping for this ever since they were hyping these up on social media, and we got one. They are doing new Hollywood commercials for WrestleMania. How good was Rollins and Becky Lynch, man? That was just fucking awesome, wasn't it?
It was fine.
I loved it.
I don't like the Joker movie, so
I like the Joker movie.
It didn't do a lot for me, and also the fact I know Batman had no involvement in that movie whatsoever. So
no,
just
the
whole dynamic was kind of weird. I think they would have been better off playing off the Dark Knight instead of playing off the Joker movie. I think if they would have done the interrogation scene from the Dark Knight,
Yeah, but
where they was back and forth at the table. I think that would have been a lot better
I
for
think
those two than what we ended up getting.
Yeah, but I think Rollins dancing was perfect for the Joker stare scene.
I think we're gonna get some good ones overall. This one probably is not gonna end up.
You're
It's
about
not
the
gonna end
only
up in my
one.
top three by the time this is all said and done.
You're about the only one that I've seen that did not like it.
That's fine. Just didn't care for it.
Next up was a bunch of stuff, to fill in the Peacock people that don't pay, and then Ariel Helwani interviewing GSP.
He didn't interview them; they were there in the crowd.
Oh well, he said
which Michael Cole used as the opportunity to take a couple shots at TK.
That was hilarious.
So
that really. Oh, there we go. Montez and Bianca with a Titanic segment. That'd be kind of good there.
I actually heard that was actually done. I haven't seen it, but I heard it was done. So that will be funny to see.
Bell in the chat. Can't wait for the Bloodlines Goodfellas or whatever. Oh, so they've announced what they've been doing. Okay, I haven't seen that.
The Bloodlines with the Goodfellas WrestleVotes announced some last week before this one came out that they were going to be doing it.
Wow.
Let me see if I can find their list really quick.
Yeah, the ones from back in 05. Was it 05? No. Yeah, maybe 05. God, they were so good with Austin and Gladiator and
yeah, the ones WrestleVotes has listed, they have Miz and Maurice with Top Gun, Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day with Stranger Things, the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre with 40-Year-Old Virgin. Then they had the Batman and Joker with Becky and Seth, and then the Bloodline is doing a Goodfellas one. So
looking forward.
We should be definitely be getting some entertaining stuff over the next month. And I also heard the rumor of Belair and Ford doing Titanic, so I hope that's real because I think that could be pretty freaking funny.
Yeah. Next up is the mixed tag match: Edge of Beth Phoenix against Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. Crowd chanting "Fuck you, Dominic." That was hilarious. I was laughing at that. I should have known better. I picked this wrong. I picked Judgment Day to win, but I should have known better. I should have known that they weren't gonna,
they weren't gonna fuck over two Canadians in one night.
Exactly. Though I still held on hope for the main event, but this was a very good match. I thought. I love the women's double powerbomb spot on the men. I think that was my favorite spot of the match. I thought they worked really well together here. What were your thoughts on that mixed tag?
One blown spot aside where Beth didn't get there in time to break up the pinfall, I thought this match was awesome. I thought all four of them killed it. I thought Beth looks like she wrestles every week. Like she honestly, like her performance against Ripley in this match, like she's been doing this and she hasn't missed anything. She hasn't missed any work whatsoever, but literally she hasn't wrestled in like almost a year. And she came out and had that match. Like I wish she was more, I don't want to say full-time because I'm sure she doesn't want to do a full-time thing, but I would love to see her on more of a part-time schedule where we see her like, maybe 6 to 8 times a year in the ring. I think that would be really cool. And I think if you want to even scale her back, put her back together with Natty and do the Divas of Doom again. Let them go for the tag titles. I think there could be there's a lot of gas left in Beth Phoenix's tank.
I think
WWE should take advantage of.
Since they got the win here, I say Beth Phoenix takes on Rhea Ripley at either Money in the Bank or SummerSlam this year. I think she should go.
After you saw their chemistry on Saturday, how could you not want a singles match from them at some point down the line?
And now that Money in the Bank is considered a big pay-per-view now, like one of the big 5, you could do it there or you could do it at SummerSlam. I love the idea of teaming up with Natalya again, who looked good in the chamber as well. And Natalia's really been doing, I mean, obviously she always does good work, but she's especially been doing some good work lately on SmackDown with the feud with the Shayna and Ronda. So, but I would love to see at least one run at the title for Beth Phoenix. And if you do it, obviously SummerSlam would be a good one because that's the second biggest pay-per-view on your calendar. Well, that they think. I still like the Royal Rumble, but I
Yeah,
think
I like the Rumble too, but they think it's SummerSlam, but I
yeah.
put SummerSlam at third behind the Rumble. And then if they're gonna keep War Games and Survivor Series every year, that makes an argument for to be right there in the contention with the four most important pay-per-views of the year again.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed they do that. I hope they do.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Next up is the men's elimination chamber match, which I thought was just tremendous. I thought it was on pace to being one of the greatest chamber matches in history. I think the run in from Logan Paul kind of killed that, just because we knew it was going to happen after that point. But I tell you what, man, I compare this to Black and Gold NXT ladder match for the first ever North American Championship. That created stars that night. This match had all up and comers except for Seth. Seth is the only world champion in that group. A lot of these guys haven't even won singles gold in the main roster. 4 of the 6 haven't won singles gold in the main roster. Bronson Reed looked fucking amazing. Montez Ford got down to the final 3, which made me think maybe they were going to pull the trigger on him that night. He had some insane moves. Gargano and Rollins doing the Hurricane Rana off the pod, or the Doomsday Poison Rana spot.
When they almost killed poor Bronson Reed.
Oh, the triple teaming of Bronson Reed made him come out of there being first eliminated, but yet look great, because it took 3 top tier level guys to super kick him out and splash him out of the match. I thought every single one of those 6 guys, like I said, if we would have had Rollins in theory give us the match that we've seen before, this probably would have gone down as one of the best chamber matches of all time. But Logan Paul obviously interfering, which adds to what we're going to get at WrestleMania. So again, I don't hate what they did with that, just because it sets things up. But still, this was just an amazing match that I think put all 6 guys on the map, and especially guys that may not have been on the map for your casual WWE fan. I think it put some of those guys on the map for them. What were your thoughts on that chamber match, Matt?
I feel like the only person who didn't come out of this match looking like a bigger star was Damian Priest. Like I can't remember anything that he did in the match necessarily special, but I can remember stuff Ford did, Gargano did, Reed did, Rollins, Theory. I feel like everybody, was able to elevate their game to another level in this chamber. And Priest is the only one I feel like he didn't come out worse, but he didn't necessarily do anything for himself to raise his stock in this match. I think Gargano, Reed, and Ford specifically all raised their stock significantly within WWE on Saturday. This is the performance Gargano needed since his return that will hopefully turn the corner for him on Raw. Yeah. This established Bronson Reed as an unstoppable monster who took 3 people, hitting him with finishers to take him down. And Montez Ford did such a legitimate injury sell job. Like, there was a 30-second period there where I was absolutely concerned for that man's well-being until the whole they opened the thing
until they
Paul.
Well, that and they replayed the stomp almost right away too. I'm like, they wouldn't do that if he was actually
when they replayed it, I'm like, I don't think they'd replay that if he was really hurt. But it was a great match, and and I think Theory's on a collision course with John Cena at WrestleMania. They've already announced Cena at the Boston Monday Night Raw on March 6th. So
I'm going to disagree with you, Steven.
Set.
I'm going to disagree with you, Steven. As he says in the chat, predicting Theory will not have the U.S. title by Mania. No, he will have it. He will lose it to John Cena. John Cena is going to do an open challenge on the night after WrestleMania, and a debut star is going to take it. Jay White.
If that occurs, it will be on night 2 of WrestleMania.
I think
Cena's
Monday.
Cena ain't sticking around for Raw. Just like Austin didn't stick around for Raw last year.
What?
If Cena beats Theory for the United States title and we do that fantasy booking thing of what Sean Ross Sapp suggested, night 2, a U.S. Open challenge with Cena, and it ends up being Jay White, then it's possible. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not fully convinced that Tony Khan doesn't announce on Wednesday night that they've signed Jay White.
Yeah.
Like he does have that. He does have the important announcement.
I just said Jay White, but
on Wednesday's show.
It could be any. It could be.
It could be anybody. They could use anybody on the roster to elevate them by defeating John Cena. But look, Jay White's not a bad pick. But I'm like I said, I'm not rolling out like TK announcing that they've signed White or Mercedes Moné or something on Dynamite on Wednesday night. So
yeah, Tony's got a big announcement.
We'll see what happens on Wednesday. I think that will very much could alter my opinion on what we'll see out of the U.S. title picture WrestleMania weekend.
Amazing scene in the main event with Sami Zayn coming out last. I like that they did Sami Zayn coming out last. And it took 5 minutes after the bell rang for them to lock up. The atmosphere was truly amazing. The story was there, obviously, because it's been a great story that's been told for over 2 years now. Obviously, WWE paid off the right officials to let Jimmy into Canada. That was quite a surprise. We expected to see Jay. We didn't even see Jay. But Jimmy showed up. And Jay did show up later on and then got taken out by Zayn accidentally. But I'm guessing that kind of sways Jay back to the side of the bloodline, don't you think? That hit?
Yeah, like that's exactly what it was set up for. I
Yeah.
didn't like the finish of this match at all. I felt they got way too overbooking and way too cute with everything, and I think they took the crowd out of it by the time it was over. Like that crowd was so damn hot for the entire match. Like when the match was over, I even joked about this on Twitter. I'm like, Triple H is making sure this match goes long, so the crowd's so tired by the conclusion that they're indifferent to the result.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of silence.
I really thought. Yeah, I thought the overbooked to hell finish. And the fact that we didn't get any closure of a chapter for the next chapter going into WrestleMania. I think it was a massive mistake to give Sami Zayn the hope spot of visibly pinning Roman Reigns when there was no referee around, because that also lends credits to Zayn's fans who insist that this match should now be a triple threat at WrestleMania because Zayn had Roman pinned. I think they made a lot of mistakes in that match that I think kind of just damaged the overall bloodline story heading into WrestleMania. I'm sure they can get it back on track over the next couple weeks, but I was really amped going into Elimination Chamber for this match, and I came out of this match pretty disappointed. So
I still thought it was an amazing match. It went about 32 minutes, and I still thought it was an amazing from start.
The match itself was. I think everything was great about the match until the first ref bump happened, and everything. I think everything took a downward spiral from there.
Then we got in.
It was way overbooked. They got way too cute, and they had several opportunities to advance multiple different storylines.
Yeah.
Saturday night, chose to not advance any of them. And I think that's a massive mistake at your last big event headed into WrestleMania.
Unless they're saving it for Friday.
Well, they had the chance to put finality on the Reigns Sammy story.
You got 5 weeks.
And they didn't do it. Yeah, but they got 5 weeks to build Cody and Roman too. You got to worry about Mania now. Yeah. Like they should have put finality on this Saturday night, and they chose not to, and I think that was a mistake.
Who's 1 inch's twin brother?
Oh, Lord.
Inside joke. Antoine on the chat wouldn't mind if it was Mello or Waller to challenge Cena. A lot of rumors.
I think Mello's going to be NXT champion by the night 2 of WrestleMania, so I don't see that happening. Maybe Braun Breaker
there were rumors that WWE officials are very impressed with Carmelo and could have him lead the Hurt Business.
That ain't happening.
I've seen that out there.
Carmelo also responded to a tweet about that and said he rated the accuracy of this report 1 star. Like that's not happening. I could see, if we're talking NXT, I could see Braun Breaker beating John Cena at WrestleMania on night 2 and winning the United States title that night.
Oh God.
Don't the way they've booked him, you can't rule that out. So
Bell in the chat, the only reason I'm not sure about Jay White going to AEW is because can't wrestle for New Japan anymore. Well, New Japan could come to AEW, he just can't go to New Japan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like for something like that, Forbidden Door, if Jay White is representing All Elite Wrestling,
or Ring of Honor,
he can actually get his match with David Finlay at Forbidden Door and pay off the storyline that they did.
Oh, that was good.
At Battle in the Valley on Saturday, which could be really freaking cool.
Yep, so, we'll talk about that later, Steven. But yeah, I love that at the end. We'll talk about that. Getting old with the ref bumps every Roman. Yeah, Roman can't ever win clean.
Look, one was bad enough. When they did the second one, my roommate, who's like a very casual wrestling fan,
felt like the Attitude Era. They
were very upset about the second ref bump, and I just I don't know what to tell you.
Man, I was hoping for the KO Sammy hug at the end just to pop the crowd. They didn't do it.
That would have been another closing of a chapter, which they chose to leave open too. Like they could have at least given the crowd that, and they didn't even do that. They didn't solidify. They didn't solidify where Jay's allegiance lie. They didn't end the Sammy and Reigns story in a definitive finale, and they didn't give the crowd the hug between Owens and Zayn, which we know we're going to get between now and WrestleMania. But why the fuck not do it in Montreal when the crowd's already upset? Let the crowd go home happy, for crying out loud.
Give me what I want.
It's just real. I don't know what Triple H was thinking with that main event. I thought they really dropped the ball on Saturday night with the booking of that. And
at the tail end of Saturday, we got New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley, and this was about a 4-hour show. Elimination Chamber was a hair over 3 hours. This show just under 4 hours, I do believe. The main card kicked things off with an 8-man tag. A lot of talent in this one. Adrian Quest, Josh Alexander, Mascara Dorada, and Rocky Romero taking on DKC, Kevin Knight, Kushida, and Volador Jr. Man, every time Kushida and Josh Alexander got in the ring, that was some good shit, wasn't it?
I didn't see a ton of this match, to be perfectly honest. This was the one that was going head-to-head with the main event of Elimination Chamber, and my eyes were kind of glued to the other story that I was more invested in at the time. So I can't really comment much on this match in particular.
I watched
the rest of the show. I could back you up on.
I did watch this afternoon. So it was a good opener, obviously with the talent involved. But yeah, anytime Alexander and Kushida were in the ring, whoo, it was some good shit.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
After the match, Volador Jr. challenged Rocky Romero to a hair versus hair match. Next up for the strong openweight champ.
It's not like Rocky has a lot of hair.
Yeah, I know.
That's a weird. That's a weird request. Rocky can grow his hair back in like a month.
Strong openweight championship. Fred Rosser took on Kenta, and I did not realize Juice Robinson was still in the mix. Juice Robinson screwing over Fred Rosser in this match. These guys were beating the dog shit out of each other. I loved it.
The thing is, as long as AEW and New Japan are working together,
true.
Like they can cross over and stuff like that. That's why I mentioned the Jay White possibilities earlier. If he signs with AEW, like his story with New Japan doesn't have to be over. And I would love to see a Jay White David Finlay match at Forbidden Door later on this year. I think that'd be really fucking cool.
But man, talking about a guy that's had a great year in pro wrestling, Fred Rosser, man, he has really turned it around and has done a hell of a job in New Japan. And this match with Kenta was good too.
What are your thoughts on CM Punk witnessing Kenta hit the GTS live and in person on Saturday night?
I loved Kenta. Did you see Kenta's comment?
Yeah.
But yeah, Fred Rosser looking good there, and Kenta obviously.
Dude, Fred Rosser's been awesome in New Japan Strong. The people who haven't been following or paying attention, like he's made quite a career for himself with that brand over the past like year or two. He's been just excellent with them.
Before we get to the tag title match, let's go back to the chat here. Daryl in the chat, spearing Jay did nothing for me.
I agree. I didn't like it at all. It was to me, it was a cop out.
Let
Jay make up his mind.
But this might,
dude, I swear to God, Mark Cho, if this shit happens, you're done. I'm coming after you if this shit happens. Stop it.
Ugh. Javon here in the chat. Kevin's still pissed. Sammy has to work for it. Has to work for that hug.
Well, yes, obviously Kevin's still upset, and I would be too, but it's wrestling. You can write it any way you want to, and I feel like they could have thrown Montreal a bone on Saturday night. Even if they did it when the show went off the air, and they did it for the live crowd, they could have done something for that audience.
He did hit him in the dick though.
Wrestlers hit each other in the dick all the time. They come around, they hug it out. It's just what they do.
Bell in the chat. The Bloodline story isn't Sammy's just because to think about it can't be. The two ending are the two that started it once the belts were removed from the group. Yeah, I definitely want to see a Jay and Roman battle to just bookend that whole brilliant story.
We're definitely getting that at some point. But I think Roman's going to lose at Mania, and I think he's going to take some time off. But I think when he returns,
he'll take time off.
I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get that storyline with Jay and Roman. But
Mercedes,
we got to get through Cody and Roman and the Usos and KO and Sammy first. So
Steven in the chat with Mercedes winning the IWGP title. Is she coming to AEW? Possibly. Tony Khan's making a big announcement on Wednesday. So
you know what I'm booking? I'm booking Mercedes Moné against Jay Cargill for the TBS championship at Revolution. Yeah, I have her break the damn streak. I have her walk around with 2 titles. I just strap her up because her match I know we're going to be talking about it soon, but her match with Kyrie, easily my favorite thing I saw all weekend, and probably my favorite women's match I've seen in a really long time. That match was fucking awesome.
Strong open weight tag team titles. The Motor City Machine Guns taking on the West Coast Wrecking Crew. I was pretty impressed with the Wrecking Crew. I didn't know. I only knew Royce Isaacs from NWA. He's beefed up a lot since his NWA days. I thought the Wrecking Crew looked good here. Obviously, Machine Guns, an all-time tag team. That was good. Loser leaves New Japan. God, oh man, Kingston and Jay White was a classic, wasn't it?
They beat the shit out of each other, man. I knew this match was going to be good.
Yeah, I love it.
You messaged me this afternoon, and you're like, oh, this match is so good. I'm like, you didn't expect it to be? Come on, man. It's Eddie Kingston and Jay White. They're going to kill it.
And they were
great freaking match.
I loved afterwards. I love Finlay hit Jay White. Well, Jay was going to speak to the crowd, probably to say goodbye. And then Finlay comes out with the shillelagh and clocks him. I loved Finlay's promo. I thought that was a kind of a cool thing to hopefully set up for AEW down the line. That'd be great. I thought the Filthy Rules match with Homicide and Lawler had some great moments. That freaking Gringo killer through the door. Holy shit. That was insane.
That was wild.
They had some good moments there. Obviously, that was everything you needed it to be for a no DQ match. Clark Connors, I didn't know much about him going in against Zack Sabre Jr., so I wasn't really as hyped on this match.
We saw him at Forbidden Door last year. Remember, he was the replacement for Ishii in the All Atlantic Championship match, and we were all like, "Who the fuck's Clark Connors?"
Yeah,
and he balled out at Forbidden Door, and he balled out again on Saturday night. The kid, he's going play.
He's got a future.
I think he could have a really nice run in Ring of Honor. If they're doing the AEW Ring of Honor New Japan relationship, I think Clark Connors could do a lot of cool shit in Ring of Honor this year if they chose to go that route.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Then, of course, next up, the IWGP Women's Championship, Kyrie and Mercedes Moné. I guess it's Money, not Monet. The tricky thing above the E, and it's money. Monet, not Monet, money.
I just use the way she has it written in her Twitter bio.
I'm going off of her. I'm going off her entrance music.
To me, I'm just like, look, if the woman who has her name that way in her Twitter bio, and that's how she says it in all of her tweets, I'm just gonna go. That's how she spells it. That's how I use it in my articles that I write. Like,
so what?
If she
So how
wants
do you
to
say it
change
then?
I will change it accordingly. I say Monet.
Okay.
So, but I still write it how she has it in her Twitter bio.
So Battle in the Valley was in San Jose. So great shout out to Bailey with a Bailey to belly. I love that.
Bailey was there.
Yep, and the crowd chanted her name after that too. I loved it. Very damn good match for these ladies that went a shade under 30 minutes. It was
so good, dude. It was so good.
Considering Mercedes hasn't had a match in 9 months, I mean, come on. What do you have? This was a classic.
It might have been the best use of a ref bump that I've seen in a really long time.
Yeah.
If you want to do a ref bump, make the ref bump look like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I hate the tired ass corner ref bumps that WWE loves to use. I love that Kyrie was going for that move and Mercedes just like yanked the referee right in front of it and made him eat it. I thought that was a brilliant use of it, and instead of really cheating, they just they brawled up the aisle and did the table spot and everything. Everything looked great. Like I honestly I don't have enough great things to say about this match. We would run into Monday Night Raw if I was gonna sit here and just
we're already getting close to that anyway.
Praise this match. I know, so I'm trying not to do that, but I can't overstate it. If you have not seen Kari and Mercedes yet, go out of your way to see that match, because to me that's what women's wrestling's all about. And I think Mercedes is going to have a hell of a 2023, just showing up wherever the fuck she wants and collected championships like her name's Kenny Omega. So
yeah, they had and then the main event was two legends, Okada and Tanahashi, and it's kind of odd that I would almost rank this third or fourth. It's weird to rank the.
It was fine.
It was fine. Good. It wasn't an all-time great.
It was a good match, but it never got it. It never kicked into another gear.
No.
That I expect those two to kick into. I think it was really late at night, and I think I think they were just like, we don't need to go all out at this point.
Yeah, they've had better. They've had worse.
The women had already stolen the show.
The main point was this is probably Tanahashi's last chance at the title, and then they ended with Okada saying to Tanahashi, "Let's reform."
And they tag up.
What were they called? Something goats.
I can't remember, but he wants to tag up and go for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles,
which is official now. That's gonna happen against. Goto and Yoshihashi.
They're 100% winning that then.
Yeah.
There's no way they lose that match. There's no freaking way. And then when's that match happening? Please tell me that's happening at Capital Collision.
No, anniversary.
Son of a bitch.
March 6th. 51st anniversary show.
Well, I hope they're both at Capital Collision in April, because I'm going to be there. I hope Mercedes is going to be there. I hope Omega is going to be there. I want a star-studded New Japan show this April, damn it. So hopefully I get one. Right? My first ever strictly New Japan show. Like I've seen New Japan talents like work ROH events and stuff, but like I've never been to like a New Japan pro wrestling show proper. So I'm super excited. To go to that show in April.
Golden Aces, is that right?
That sounds about right. I'm not 100% sure, but that sounds like a name that would make sense.
51st anniversary show, March 6th. What the hell?
I'm assuming that's in Japan, right?
Yeah. What is when is Revolution? I thought that was the 4th.
March 5th, I think.
Oh, it's Saturday, so the New Japan show's on Sunday. Yeah. No, March 6th is a Monday. Oh, yeah. It's in Japan. Yeah. So late Sunday for us.
That's oh shit. So that's gonna start.
It's gonna start late.
Oh God.
Yeah, they'll start late.
we got a 1 hour Iron Man match on Revolution. Maybe by the time Revolution ends, they'll be kicking off the New Japan show. So,
well, no, New Japan or is Revolution Saturday or Sunday?
No, it's Sunday.
Oh, okay. So you're right then. Yeah, that. Yeah, who knows how long an AEW show is going to go?
This was a plan between Gato and Tony Khan. Like we're gonna go off the air at like 3 a.m. So everybody can say, "Hey, just tune into New Japan World and watch the other show now."
Seamless transition. We have not much time left, so we're just going to run through the headlines. We'll skip television. Maybe we'll run through Dynamite, but obviously we don't have to talk about Raw or SmackDown or NXT. We'll run through Dynamite.
Not with the Chamber already.
But let's go into some stories here real quick from Fightful Select. Some details on Kenny Omega's deal and WWE interest. It's been his contract has been much speculated on, and they have Fightful has heard from several staff and talent. Numerous sources have claimed to have overheard Tony Khan say that Omega has substantial injury time that could be added to his contract and extend if AEW chooses to do so. Fightful has confirmed that is an option in his contract, which is standard on all AEW deals. One talent noted that Omega has good representation and that might not necessarily be a slam dunk, or he might have some concessions on that. Those that they spoke to in AEW also claim that they do not believe the injury time has been added on yet. They've reached out to Tony Khan but have not heard back. There was one source that claimed late in 2022 that Omega's deal would be up soon and he could be working without a deal. Another source familiar to the situation told us that Omega's deal would not be up soon. And later on, it ended up being the case. So the period is already bypassed. Another interesting note was from WWE. Several in the company are believing they have a chance to land Kenny Omega despite the AEW WWE rivalry. Fightful was told that Omega has a positive relationship with WWE, especially Triple H. When discussing the potential of heading to the company in late 2018, of course, Omega chose to go to AEW. Though there have been heavy AEW accusations regarding contract tampering, WWE sources told Fightful they don't believe that was the case with Omega specifically. And it was also reiterated to Fightful that Omega has it written in his AEW contract that he has the freedom to appear in New Japan as long as it doesn't conflict with AEW. Matt, obviously the big part of that is the WWE deal of that. What do you believe on that?
I don't see it happening. Like, look, I believe that there's interest on WWE to sign Omega, but I don't believe there's any chance in hell of Omega going over there because Omega's heart, at the end of the day, is still with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And as long as he works with AEW, he can continue to work New Japan. Yeah. And look, you want an easy, if Tony Khan wants an easy slam dunk way to keep Omega in AEW, here's two simple fucking words for you, TK. Kota Ibushi. Sign the man who already made note this week.
Maybe that's
what he would sign with AEW if he only had to work one match a month until his dojo was up and running.
Maybe that's Wednesday's announcement.
And like that's what you freaking do. You sign Kota Ibushi, you got Kenny Omega. He's not going anywhere if you got him. It's not freaking happening. So just freaking sign Ibushi and let's move on. Like this is all silliness. This is all silly because Omega's not going anywhere without the Bucks. If Omega's going to WWE, they're all going to WWE.
That's been a rumor too. Some people like that's crazy.
Those three aren't splitting up. So unless the Bucks are going with them, it's not freaking happening.
Could you imagine?
To me, it's much ado about nothing.
Could you imagine?
It would be wild to see all four members of the that started AEW over in the other company. That would be really, really crazy.
We're going to talk about John Cena, but all you got to say is he's going to return to Raw on March 6th, and that's that.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. So
we for the sake of time, we are continuing. Charlotte Flair recently did an interview with the Daytona Beach News Journal. I believe Charlotte was she had a hand in the Daytona 500 this past weekend as well, and was asked if who in the company she would like to work with, and she said, well, I've never had a program with Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. It'd have to be her. And then asking about unifying the title, Charlotte said, I don't recommend a unification program because I feel that would mean less opportunities for the women. It was cool for one of the girls to have both titles at one time, but it takes a lot of spots away. Do you agree with what she has to say there, man?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I'm of the same mind that I think that the tag titles and the men's titles need to be split.
Oh yeah,
Like
they do.
especially if we're doing a hard draft after Mania, like what's rumored. Like both brands need their own champs.
Yeah.
And what you can do is if you really don't want to split what you got now, you unify them into one new championship design, and then you create brand new championships for the brand who doesn't have a championship.
Yep.
Create a new set of tag titles, create a new world championship. It's really that simple. Bring back the big gold belt if you want to. It's really not that difficult. Cody can merge these titles, bring back the Winged Eagle belt.
I don't like the current. I don't like the
newly updated design or whatever.
I don't like that.
They could easily fix this shit.
I don't like that title design. Yeah, me too.
They don't need to do that.
I agree that I'd love to see Charlotte and Bianca go at it, but yes, I agree that we are already tired of unification with the men's title and tag titles. We're tired of it already. So enough is enough. It's time for a change. Last bit of news here over the week. It was reported just recently today by Fightful Select that the Demon was internally set to make a return for the WWE. Also, it was reported back in December by WrestlingNews.co that the original plans had called for Edge to take on Finn Balor at WrestleMania to further the Judgment Day and Edge feud. However, Edge's filming schedule did not allow that. That's why this got kind of pushed to possibly WrestleMania.
The WrestlingNews.co report was stating that the match was supposed to take place at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And however,
they wanted to do Hell in a Cell at the Rumble, and everything didn't work out.
Based on internal plans, not only was Edge and Finn Balor listed at Hell in a Cell at the Royal Rumble, but the Demon version of Finn Balor was slated to perform. Balor has used that persona 7 times on the main roster. Of course, used it a lot more in NXT. Last appearing at Extreme Rules in a WWE Universal title loss to Roman Reigns. But it is something he hasn't brought out in quite some time. Obviously, now we are expecting Hell in a Cell as no longer a pay-per-view. It could be a WrestleMania match. Do you see this just getting pushed to WrestleMania and we get the Demon at WrestleMania?
I think we'll know after tonight.
Okay.
Edge in theory for the United States Championship tonight. I could see if Judgment Day costs Edge the match like I predict them that they're going to. To me, that completely opens up the path to Edge and Balor in Hell in a Cell Mania. And Finn did the Demon in New Japan as part of the Bullet Club. So don't tell me that the Demon couldn't work as part of the Judgment Day. That doesn't make any sense. Put some fucking purple in there and be done with it. Give me the purple Demon. And I want to see it. I want to see Balor go over. Balor needs a definitive win, and I think a big Hell in a Cell win over Edge at WrestleMania would be really big for his career going forward.
Moving on, AEW Dynamite taking place here. In Laredo, Texas, and did a tribute to Jerry Jarrett to kick off the show in an 8-man tag match. Props to Jeff Jarrett for wanting to do it too. So obviously probably wanted to honor his father with that match. And so they kicked things off with an 8-man tag match with Jarrett's usual team of goons taking on Billy Gunn, the Acclaimed, and Orange Cassidy. Good guys getting the win there. We got a promo from Brian Danielson. Whoops. And then a tornado tag match. Moxley and Claudio taking on Roosh and Preston Vance. And Moxley bleeding again, but this is a great tornado tag match between those guys with Moxley and Claudio getting the win.
I'm telling you, did you see my tweet on Wednesday night?
No.
Jazzwares needs to make a Moxley flip head. Remember those Power Ranger flip heads in the 90s where you pressed down on the Morphin belt and then the head flipped and you had the real head in the Power Ranger helmet? They need to do one with Mox where you squeeze his legs together and his head flips and it goes from clean Moxley to crazy bloody ass Moxley. They'd sell a ton of those damn things.
I'd buy one. I'd put it up there right next to that guy.
Yeah, I think they need to put that out. I think that'd be great.
Masters of the Universe had a couple of characters with faces that you.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's an uncommon thing. and like several popular action figure lines have done it over the last few decades.
Wardlow with a great interview with Jim Ross. If you haven't seen that, go out of your way to check that on YouTube, talking about his dad. Very good interview there. Mark Briscoe, well, good to see him back in AEW. Of course, he is officially All Elite now. Take on Josh Woods. Good little match there. Mark Briscoe getting the win.
I think he's going to be in the face of the Revolution ladder match at Revolution.
Shortly after that match is when Tony Khan announced that he was All Elite. So good to see there. Adam Cole had to sit down with Renee Young, just kind of updating with his health. We hear from MJF after that, and let's see here, Christopher Daniels. I thought the Daniels and MJF segment was pretty good. Jungle Boy taking on Brian Cage, got the win there. Christian makes his return, drops the
Christian
kill
Cage
switch.
coming out to defend his cousin Brian Cage. It all worked. It all connects, JB.
Luke Cage
It's
is
all
out
connected.
Luke Cage is coming out next too, right?
My God, pal.
So that you can pencil that in for Revolution.
Luke Cage ain't jobbing anybody.
Hangman Page got jumped earlier by Kip Sabian and Butcher and Blade, but then he dropped Kip in about 6 minutes.
It was the only way to not make the match 2 minutes long.
Yeah, it went 6 instead. John Moxley and Evil Uno getting into it. I think I'm kind of excited to see what Uno can do against
his ass being on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Uno does in that match. But yeah, he's probably gonna get the shit beat out of him.
It's not gonna be a good night for him.
In the main event, triple threat: Tony Storm, Ruby Soho, and Britt Baker. Ruby gets the win, and they ask her to pick sides, and she still didn't pick a side. So we didn't even get anything progressing.
Yeah, this was as bad as the finish with Jey Uso at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
fucking advance the storylines. WWE, AEW, you're both fucking guilty of not advancing shit in your main events last week. I want some storyline advancement this week from both companies.
And quickly, Rampage Trios rematch with a very heavy basketball theme, since they were the lead into the NBA All-Star.
They totally leaned into the All-Star game.
So
it was fun.
Garcia and Starks had a great match, and my girl Vert Vixen got destroyed by Jay Cargill. And then the main event was tremendous. Swerve and Dustin Rhodes. That was a damn good match. After the match, Parker Bordeaux and Swerve beating up Dustin, and who makes the save but Keith Lee. So we can pencil in another match to Revolution with Keith Lee.
I have one quick request for Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
Between now and Revolution.
Shave the head.
Get
a haircut.
Break out to Just for Men. Get your normal hair color back to we're all used to seeing. Regrow your facial hair, because you look weird with no hair. It's I don't know. It's weird. I can't explain it.
Weird.
But I like my Keith Lee with the beard and you know in the LeBron James-esque looking hair. Like, I don't know. He looked weird to me on Rampage. I'm happy as hell that he's back. I love Keith Lee, but let's fix that appearance up before Revolution, please. Plenty of time.
Got just over a minute here. So what to look forward to on Dynamite? Tony Khan, of course, an important announcement. As we just mentioned, Moxley and Evil Uno. Saraya will take on Sky Blue. Tony Schiavone will interview Christian Cage. We'll hear from Bryan Danielson. The Acclaimed will take on Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. And for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta, who had a great exchange on Rampage this past Friday. And we will also pencil in the third team that's going to be in the Fatal 4-Way for the Tag Team Championships with a Battle Royale. Lucha Brothers, Butcher Blade, Trust Busters, Dark Order, 2.0, Jarrett and Lethal, Roosh and Preston, Top Flight, Best Friends, and Aussie Open.
The winning team, Aussie Open.
And finally, Raw starting in a minute. We will have a spoiler to open the show. We will just leave that to you. Rhea Ripley sit-down interview, Mustafa Ali versus Dolph Ziggler, Cody interview, Asuka versus Nikki Cross, Seth Rollins versus Miz, Ding Dong Hello with a special guest. We will not spoil that for you either. Chad Gable against Bronson Reed, and for the U.S. title, Austin Theory against Edge. That sounds like a good Raw, Matt.
Should be good. Should be good.
With that, it's 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Any quick final thoughts?
Well, let's go watch some wrestling. Let's hope for a good show tonight.
Let's watch some wrestling. Great weekend of wrestling on Saturday. Let's see what we get for Monday Night Raw. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Lost the Midcard, brought to you by Bet Online.